Over the years, social media has changed so much about Nigeria. And for those who understand and know how to use it, the social media, which includes Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, blogs, and other social networking websites, has put an end to the monopoly of the traditional media. While some believe in the power of the social media, others believe it has caused more harm than good in the society. It is for this reason that broadcasters, bloggers, and other media practitioners converged to be part of an orientation lecture put together by Mr. Kehinde Uwandu. Mr. Kehinde Uwandu is recognized as a blogger par excellence. He is the publisher and editor-in-chief of one of the leading blogs in the country, CKN News. Mr. Chris, over the years, social media has changed so much about Nigeria. And for those who understand and know how to use it, the social media, which includes Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, blogs, and other social networking websites, has put an end to the monopoly of the traditional media. While some believe in the power of the social media, others believe it has caused more harm than good in the society. It is for this reason that broadcasters, bloggers, and other media practitioners converged to be part of an orientation lecture put together by Mr. Kehinde Uwandu. Mr. Kehinde Uwandu is recognized as a blogger par excellence. He is the publisher and editor-in-chief of one of the leading blogs in the country, CKN News. Mr. Kehinde Uwandu indeed basked in the love and goodwill of all his friends and admirers as they came out massively to support him during his first annual lecture. The lecture, which brought together practitioners from radio and television stations across the country, was held at the Renaissance Hotel, Ikeja, Lagos on the 13th of June 2017. In attendance at the event, which was anchored by Kehinde, were the Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, the guest of honor, Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Commission, Dr. Boboye Oyoyemi, MFR, the keynote speaker, the Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the NCC, Professor Umar Garba Dambata, was ably represented by the Director of Public Affairs of the NCC, Mr. Tony Ojobo, Publisher and Editor-in-Chief, The Oracle, Mr. Ikedi Isiguzo, high-profile media personalities, members of Association of Bloggers, among others. The event kicked off with a welcome address by Mr. Kehinde Uwandu, who said the lecture was organized to correct the perception of people towards bloggers as blackmailers. He added that the social media is the fastest and most powerful tool used today for the dissemination of information and news. Mr. Kehinde Uwandu further acknowledged that he couldn't have brought a better guest speaker than a man who is qualified and experienced, Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, the Minister of Transportation, to do justice to the topic of discussion.
I want to thank you for being here. This is not a day for speeches and the rest of them. The essence of this lecture is for us to be able to look around and see what we have done right, what we intend doing, and what we should be doing right. This is the first time in the history of this country that a blogger is putting together something like this. And that only goes to show that we just want to make a statement. We want to make a statement that gone are the days when online practitioners and bloggers are seen as blackmailers, people who like posting all sorts of false information, who are there to destroy people's integrity and image, who are there to extort money from people and the likes. So, is that wrong we're trying to write today? The thinking about online publication in Nigeria. In the past 7 years we've been on this, and I know that part of the credibility we have is that at any given point in time, you can be rest assured 99.9% of whatever we're pushing now is accurate at any given point in time. And any time we get it wrong, we always come back to say we are sorry and try to make amends. I thank you all for coming, as I said.
Professor Umar Garba Dambata, the Executive Vice Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the NCC, in his goodwill address said the social media differs from the traditional media in terms of quality, reach, frequency, usability, immediacy, and permanence. He added that the social media plays a key role in e-commerce companies today as they are growing by the day, and this has made the new media move beyond social networking into becoming an important tool for marketing, advertising, and trading.
As a global phenomenon and platform for knowledge, information, and person-to-group communication, the social media has come to shape our lives in very exciting and remarkable ways. The social media in particular have come to represent the perfect example of the democratization of information and technology with demonstrable capacity to migrate communication to interactive dialogue and social activation. This is greatly evident politically. Socially, we also have seen the volume of information that is shared across platforms such as Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, BlackBerry Messenger, and on Instagram, to mention just a few applications. The Nigerian Communications Commission has come to know that these platforms have enabled people to communicate and interact and share ideas.
He further emphasized on the new media as a good platform for politics when used positively. Concluding his address, he re-emphasized NCC's commitment in its vision to be a responsive and excellent communications regulatory organization.
The social media have become a marketplace of ideas and creativity. Products and services are sold online, thus providing opportunity for startups to commence businesses on a very small scale. In the time past, as an organization, NCC is elated at these developments. The protection of rights is a value that should be cherished by all individuals and institutions. It stands to reason, therefore, that NCC as a public sector organization recognizes the value of the social media networks in the society and its power to disseminate information on a real-time basis globally. We appreciate the importance of data as a key resource in knowledge management. This explains our decision at the Nigerian Communications Commission to enhance our strategic activities in the facilitation of broadband deployment across the country in line with the National Broadband Plan.
The highlight of the event was the articulate delivery by the Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, on the topic, the role of the social media in the socio-economic and political development of Nigeria. Firstly, he took time to congratulate Mr. Kehinde Uwandu, the publisher and editor-in-chief of CKN News, for the thoughtful initiative in organizing the lecture. Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, in his interactive session, enumerated the importance of the social media today. He said the social media has become a driving force in political, economic, and socio-cultural issues in Nigeria, particularly among the youth and the middle age, who use the social media as a tool to voice their opinions and take part in nation building. He added that the social media acts as a feedback mechanism for government, which helps to create efficiency.
The role of social media to the economic and political development of the Nigerian society. So social, when you say socio-economic, just society, what is the contribution, what is the economic and political contribution to the development of the society called Nigeria? His terms is a lot, mentioning a lot of them. The area he didn't go into because he's a public servant, it's a political aspect. So nobody covers it. I'll wait till that one, don't worry about that. So I'll thank him for dealing with part of the economy. But I will then go into the he talked about communication, that's both political and economic. You know that it helps, like I said, it helps government to communicate. You even access government from that. Once you remove the chat, you can be able to access government from social media. Government is angry with social media, government is also happy that at least it's creating money. And it's a form of protest. I hope you know that. You know that? when you vent your anger, most people don't know what violence is. People think violence is just physical, it's emotional, it's mental. When the government is not able to create an opportunity for you to grow yourself, your own private economy, what do? You create your economy for yourself. My first speech, my second speech after becoming governor of Ogun State, is that I had to confront the criminals. And by addressing the state, I said, if government is not able to create a legal means of creating wealth, of economic good, of economy, Nigerians will create for themselves an illegal economy. It's very robust.
Speaking further, Right Honorable Chibuike Rotimi Amechi said, the social media, which also helps to combat depression, is sometimes misused by some politicians to damage the reputation of others. Rounding off his lecture, he called on all to verify news contents gotten from social media platforms, as not all are accurate.
And that for us to deal with crime in two ways: social policing and physical policing. What's physical policing? Nigerian police can chase this criminal. What's social policing? If a man is hungry, if you like, put 30 mobile policemen on the road, he will go to them. So what does social media do? It creates employment. It creates employment for the unemployable and for the employable. So social media also does what? Creates crime. Right? The lady that was killed, there was a young girl that was killed. Yes. What hotel was she? Cynthia. Is that social media?
Yes.
Facebook. Because I didn't last more than 2-3 months on Facebook. Who said there's no blackmail that you have changed? It's a source of blackmail, right? Right? I can tell you how they do to random men. They put the face of a beautiful woman, and then they start chatting with you, pretending to be a woman. If you follow, you're in trouble. It's a feedback mechanism for government and for mostly government. You know that you're able to, as a governor or as a minister, am I doing well?
This was quickly followed by the question and answer session by members of the audience. It was an avenue for the Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Chibuike Rotimi Amechi, and the representative of the Executive Vice Chairman and CEO of the NCC, Mr. Tony Ojobo, to shed more light on the topic of discussion. Next on the agenda was a presentation from Mr. Ikedi Siguzo, the publisher and editor-in-chief of the Oracle newspaper. In his presentation, Mr. Ikedi Siguzo said, journalists are more concerned about reporting stories that interest the public than reporting stories that are in the public interest. In addition, he called on all bloggers and journalists to be more professional in their approach.
Many people used to think that culture is whether we have masquerades or the... No. Culture is actually a very serious economic issue these days. So whether when you watch films from elsewhere or you are watching a food channel or so, those are cultural productions that are affecting our lives. Because some of these foods, strange as they are, once we see them, we want to eat them. We're talking of fashion, all types of things. So these are the gaps I think we need to invest our energies in. Because with the digital media, markets are without boundaries. We could break into anywhere and so on. No religions, no relations, no regions anymore. And this is where I think we need to increase our ideas. And the commodities here are ideas, cultural productions, and the technologies that propel them. So what do we see? You are watching a film and you think it's just a film. No, it influences the way you think, the way you dress, your aspirations, and the things you want to eat. But what has happened is, people are also looking at this and they say it's the new colonialism. You might be looking at cars and dances and so on. No! These are all economic activities, some of which go in through culture.
Dr. Boboyo Yoyemi, the co-marshal of the Federal Road Safety Commission, who was guest of honor at the occasion, remarked that there is need to regulate driving in the country, as there are unqualified and untrained drivers on the roads. He also called for the support of Nigerians, as measures are being put in place to take them off the road.
We need to sanitize our roads. I don't think it's correct for someone to be using for while driving and endangering the lives of other road users. We need to get it right. It's a serious offense in developed countries. And for traffic light to stop you and you are violating, I don't think we should encourage this. our fines are very low. And so if fines are low and the act is awaiting amendment, I think the act backs us up on the other things. So that is, I'm embarking on enlightenment for the next 15 days. I need the support of all of you. We need to instill sanity into our driving habits in the country. We're all Nigerians. We are the only ones who can make the effective change we require on the highways. So join me as I carry those chronic offenses with offenders to the designated hospitals as from 1st of July. Thank you very much.
Mr. Kehinde Uwandu, in his vote of thanks, thanked all who came out to support him. He especially thanked the Minister of Transportation, Right Honorable Chibike Rotimi Amechi, and the Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Commission, Dr. Boboye Oyeyemi, for taking time out of their busy schedules to attend the lecture. He stated that the maiden lecture, which is the first in the history of bloggers, would be an annual event that will hold every 13th of June. Biscon Communications heartily congratulates Mr. Kehinde Uwandu, the publisher and editor-in-chief of CKN News, for this great leap.